Hello everyone. Welcome to today's video, where you'll be the judge for the stories we bring for you. Case 1. Am I the bad person for exposing my coworker after he exposed me? I, 28F, have been in a happy and committed throuple for about 3 years now. It's unconventional, but it works for us. I also enjoy posting on a social media platform that's more on the mature side, think Facebook, but for adults who like to talk about NSFW topics and post NSFW pictures. My face isn't visible in any of the pictures, and I never talk about my job on there. So I didn't think it would ever be an issue at work, especially because our job doesn't have a morality clause. One of my coworkers, Jake, 34M, recently found my profile on this site. Jake has always been a bit too friendly, making suggestive comments and flirting with me despite knowing I'm not interested. I've turned him down countless times, but he just doesn't take the hint. He thinks that just because I'm poly I want to be with him. Instead of keeping his discovery to himself, Jake took screenshots of my posts and ran to HR, accusing me of unbecoming internet activity that could damage the company's reputation. I got called into a meeting with HR, and honestly, I was terrified. However, after reviewing the posts, HR told me that because my face wasn't visible and there was nothing identifying the company, it wasn't their concern and was my own personal business. They assured me that no action would be taken against me and that I hadn't violated any policies. My direct boss said that the meeting was more toward me that Jake was sharing my private pictures in the workplace. Even though I was cleared, I still felt humiliated that my private life had been dragged into work like this. And I was beyond angry that Jake tried to get me in trouble over something that had nothing to do with him. Here's where I might be the asshole. After that HR meeting, I was still fuming. I knew Jake was married and had heard rumors about him cheating on his wife with another woman in the office. I also had a bunch of inappropriate messages he'd sent me, including some sent during work hours, which I hadn't done anything about until now. Instead of going back to HR, I decided to take matters into my own hands. I found Jake's wife on social media and anonymously sent her all the screenshots of his messages to me, along with some information about his affair. I literally found his profile and his mistress' profile on the same site he said was unbecoming, and sent her the links to both. I figured if he wanted to dig into my private life, he should face the consequences of his own actions. It didn't take long for everything to blow up. Jake's wife confronted him, and now she's filed for divorce. Word spread around the office, and Jake is absolutely furious with me, saying I ruined his marriage and made his life hell. Some of my coworkers think I went too far and should have just let it go, but others believe he got what he deserved for trying to get me in trouble over something that was none of his business. So, am I the bad person? Someone said, Christ, I wouldn't want to cross you, ha ha ha. He was clearly out of line and was, during work time, being inappropriate towards you. Given he went to your HR department, how on earth did he think it wouldn't be blatantly clear that he'd have to be on there to find it? To try and get you fired, I'd say he deserved it. He played a stupid game and won a stupid prize. Threw stones in glass houses, etc. The only chance of you being an AH was if you knew they had kids. That would be overstepping things. Not because of him, but because of them. Honestly, without wishing to scare you, I'd be a little worried about violence at this point. You really have fucked up his life, even if he deserved it. Another user stated, not the bad person. He shouldn't be surprised all that. This would have never happened to him if he kept to himself, didn't cheat, and from the looks of it harass you with inappropriate messages. Because from the way I see it, this Aholy was salty. You refused his advances, and instead of leaving you alone when he found out about your profile on a website, he shouldn't have been on himself in the first place since he's married. Seriously, some people are ignoring the fact that he was already inappropriate messaging women in the workplace, especially Op. So he was already committing sexual harassment in the working place. Then he found Op's NSFW profile on a website because he was having affairs and thought he could get back at Op for refusing him. And even worse still, not only cheer on his wife, the mother of their kids, but possibly exposed to transmitted diseases, like his wife needed to know, because not only does his wife doesn't deserve to be cheated on, but doesn't deserve to be exposed to nasty diseases either. So the people saying Op shouldn't have told his wife is wrong because both her and their kids deserve better than that. Seriously, the people saying you went too far are dumb, because it's like, So you want Op to allow Jake to continue to cheat on his wife and possibly give her a disease. Someone else said, not the bad person. He tried to get you fired from your job. You should take those texts to your HR as well. This way he can lose his job on top of his marriage. He deserves it if he's going to be a hypocritical asshole. And he ruined his own marriage by cheating no one else. And he wasn't even discreet. His wife knowing doesn't change the facts. I absolutely hate it when people say, you should mind your own business by withholding lies. It's deceitful and enabling. I've never quite understood people that think because somebody is poly, or even those in an open marriage, that it means they are free game for funsies with everyone they encounter. Story 2. I'm rethinking having a child with my wife because of what I just found out about her dad. Am I the bad person? My wife Jessica, 32F, and I, 30M, have been married for 2 years and are trying for a baby. Jessica has an older sister, Mary, that she isn't close to. She told me that they had a huge falling out over some family drama and just don't speak anymore. I asked a few times about the entire situation, but she would say she doesn't like talking about it and doesn't think it's important. It was Jessica's brother's birthday yesterday, and we were all over at his house to celebrate. Mary made an appearance, and there was a lot of drama. Long story short, she called Jessica and her brothers out for still associating with their dad when they know that he is a child toucher. No one was paying her any mind, and I was really confused on what the hell was going on. When Mary left and Jessica and I went home, I asked Jessica what the hell happened. She said that when they were kids, Mary used to claim that their dad used to touch her. I asked if it's true, and Jessica was stuttering a lot. She said she knows her dad used to do bad things, but that Mary cut them all off when she turned 18 and moved out. I asked if she is admitting that she knows her dad was a child toucher and did things to his own daughter. She said he doesn't do it anymore, and he was just in a really bad place in his life. And he apologized to Mary, so there's nothing else anyone can do for Mary. I was honestly appalled. I also feel so terrible for Mary. Jessica made it seem like Mary did something wrong and deserved to be basically exiled from the family. I could have never imagined that this is what happened. I asked if she expects me to now be willing to have that man around our future children, and she started shouting at me, saying I'm judging him off something that happened 2 decades ago, and whether I like it or not. He is going to be our child's grandpa, and he will be in their lives. I said if she insists on it, I think we need to hold off on having kids and have serious conversations about it. She's extremely angry at me, but I don't know how I could better react, to be honest. This feels like a huge deal that she is minimizing. Am I the bad person? Opie added an update. To provide some context, a few days after my original post, I sat Jessica down and told her how I was feeling. I told her I'm not okay with what she and her family had done to Mary. They knew what their dad had done to her, but still chose to take his side and make Mary look crazy. I told her I'm also not okay with brushing her father's crimes under the rug. She was quiet and didn't say anything. She didn't try to defend herself or her family. She was just staring at me in a very chilling way, almost like she was indifferent to whatever I had to say and just wanted it to be over. I told her I needed time to myself, and I would leave and think about what I wanted to do. Suddenly, she was paying attention. She seemed shocked and panicked. She started begging me not to leave, saying I'll get over it in a few days when we get back to how we usually are and things settle down. She said all families have skeletons in their closet and that this can't define our marriage. I said no, and I left the house for a few days. I ignored all her calls and those of her family. I reached out to Mary on Facebook. I wrote her a lengthy message about how I had no idea all she had been through, and that I'm so sorry for how her family treated her. I told her to reach out to me if she ever needs anything. She got back to me and asked if we can meet for coffee. We met up the day after. At first it was small talk. Then she asked if I would be okay if she told me her version of events. I said of course I would, and she spoke to me about it. Everything her dad did, and how her family treated her after she told them. I felt physically sick. She even told me stories about how Jessica told her friends that Mary has a mental condition that causes hallucinations, and that just in case Mary starts rumors about their family. That's why. A lot of people still believe Mary has a mental condition because of Jessica. I knew after that talk that I had to end things with Jessica. I went over to our house and told her I want a divorce. I told her I cannot stand the thought of being her husband and a part of their disgusting family. All she did was cry and ask all this for her. I knew then that she hadn't changed. She was still the same person that did all of those things to Mary, and she was still doing them. We're still not officially divorced, but we haven't been together since. And we are going through the process. It's just taking longer than I thought to get it finalized. Mary and I became friends. I invited her to a birthday dinner my family were hosting for me. And she hit it off with my cousin. He's crazy about her, and she seems really happy with him too. He keeps asking me if it would be too early to propose, and I have to tell him to not scare her away, lol. But they have a really wholesome relationship, and I'm really happy for them. As for me, I'm just surviving. Divorces are tough, but I know I made the right choice. Thank you to everyone that responded and gave me advice. I really appreciate it. What do the members of the jury think? Is he the AH in this story? Express your verdict down in the comments section. The top comment will be posted on next week's video. Thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe. In life, we may run, but we can't hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.